Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
Bonsoir, nos amis. The Montreal Canadiens just kicked the crap out of the Colorado Avalanche. Maybe not in the scoring chance department, but let's be real, they controlled the game from start to finish. Jakub Dobeš was phenomenal. There's so many good things to talk about tonight. We're going to do a little bit of a different show. We're just going to do the first segment. We're going to go over the game, kind of stream of consciousness, talk about what we liked, what we didn't like. Very little to not like about tonight. But more than anything, we just want to be here with you guys, and then we'll transition to the questions. It's going to be a fun show. And also, we have some good news because the channel just became a YouTube partner. We got approved for monetization here. So, little clap for ourselves as we finally got through the first 1,000 subscriber benchmark and got approved by YouTube. But Jordan, my friend Jordan Hachey here with me. How are you feeling?
Feeling awesome today. A huge game. Coming to Colorado. I heard scheduled loss. You know, the other day I wasn't feeling good. Colorado lost they let in 7 goals yesterday against Ottawa, and they come back huge again today. So just great to see the guys put up 7. And Rabinov says game of the season, maybe. That's a statement win for Montreal today. They're not messing around. This is a playoff team, Andrew. This is a freaking playoff team.
Yep. Honestly, never in doubt.
Yeah.
From very early in the season, for me, this is very clearly a much improved team over last year. And I know people are nervous about Buffalo is red hot and they're winning again tonight. Boston's winning again tonight. And you still got Florida behind them, which is a little bit scary because they're the reigning Stanley Cup champions. But when you look at the teams around them, honestly, I think they're just the full picture. They're in a really good position. And now that we've seen a couple of strong starts from Jakub Dobeš in a row, I'm pretty pleased as punch about that as well. Because the Canadiens needed this. They needed it so badly to have a goaltender just be strong. So we're going to talk about Jakub Dobeš in the first segment. We're going to hear from Intro Bijou in a moment. But first, I want to say welcome and bonsoir to I Miss Saku, Trinka, Jordan Hachey is here in the chat as well. Kay is here. Kay, my God, the emotional roller coaster that you have been on tonight as a Habs and Avalanche fan, watching Caden Gooley almost get murdered, but then be completely fine and be awesome. And by the way, he led all Canadiens players in even strength ice time tonight at over 20 minutes, which is nuts considering the hit that he took. Crazy. Ramelli, welcome to the show. And Rabinov, Adam Glingland, who else is here? Absolutely Hockey. Montreal MUFC, welcome to the show. It is a fun one tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun. But first, let's hear from our friends at Intro Bijou. At the famous chateau at 4000 Rue Saint-Ambroise lies one of Montreal's coolest secrets, a glamorous Gothic jewelry store owned and run by women. Intro Bijou isn't just a business. They've built a community that supports bold creativity and expression. When I was first introduced to founder Astrid Episegomian's shop, I was floored by the detail, vision, and scale of what she's built from her own mind. I don't think anyone would call me goth, but I know an innovator when I see one. Along with building their own business, Intro Bijou also hosts markets for vendors in their space called Marché Maleficarum, boosting their whole community. If you don't live in Montreal, explore introbijou.com, where you'll find over 800 designs that range from affordable to bespoke. Check out Intro Bijou right now, a Game Over partner from the beginning. Welcome back to Game Over Montreal. I'm Andrew Berkshire. I'm here with Jordan Hachey, and we're talking about the Montreal Canadiens defeating the Colorado Avalanche 7-3. If you like the Montreal Canadiens and if you're happy about the win, make sure you hit like on this video. Make sure you hit subscribe. We are a small, growing company, but we are delivering to you amazing post-game analysis and also just good vibes to hang out with at the end of the night. Jordan, looking at this game, I'm seeing some comments. The only thing that folks didn't like about this game was the hit on Gooley. Let's start low and then build up.
Yeah,
the hit on Gooley, hated it.
Love it. We can leave on a high note tonight. That was disgusting, man, and not in a good hockey way. That you can see on the replay, bro. Like, come on. I'm sorry. How is that not elbowing is just allowed now? And I'm watching the RDS broadcast, and the commentators are saying, "Oh, oh, it's because he hit Gooley's arm. He didn't make contact with his head." Dude, he's protecting his head with his arm. He still got hit in the face. Ah, uh, at least we get this over with. That was a like inexcusable from the referees. Inexcusable. They literally reviewed a clear and obvious elbow. He literally finishes like this. Ah, I don't know what to say anymore.
I think what it comes down to for me when refs are talking about like elbows or head hits or whatever, every single time you hit a player and you go for the far shoulder, in order to go for the far shoulder, you must pass through this area. In case anybody who is human has not noticed, the chin sticks out further than the shoulder. If you go for the far shoulder across the body, you will hit the chin pretty much every time. And I know Caden Gooley was leaning forward. He was in a bit of a vulnerable position. You just can't make that hit, man. You just can't. You can't make that hit anymore. It was okay at one point in the league, but it shouldn't be anymore. We need to get past it. It was funny because that situation I thought they handled horribly, but then earlier on when they had the high stick on who got high sticked on the entry
Demidov.
there, Demidov, right? And then Slavkovsky went after him. It was clearly a accidental high stick by Malinsky going for the puck. Good call by the ref. And then when Slav went in there and like started stuff, and the ref looks at him and he's like, "Get the fuck out of here." I thought he was going to take Slav to the box, but he was
Me
just
too.
telling him like, "Get back to the bench." And I actually loved that. That was good managing of the game and the temperature. Just like, get out of here. You don't need to be here making things worse. I thought that was smart.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that penalty was interesting too, because like that's just an absolutely reckless, dumb
Yeah.
play. And that could have been really dangerous. It's a 2 minute, but like I would, in an ideal world, I think that should be called more severely.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like the Bolduc elbow from a few games ago, right? It was not purposeful what happened, but it was brutal and careless, and it's wild that it wasn't a penalty. It 100% should have been a penalty. It's the league is weird. I don't know what to say about it other than that. But let's talk about goals, because there were a lot of them tonight, and holy hell was this game ever set. Like the tone was set by the captain. And you could tell right from the drop of the first puck that the Canadiens wanted this game. And holy hell was he great in the first period.
Yeah, he finally scored on a breakaway, and that was his second goal of the game. But I wanted to lead with that because this guy has been an absolute dud in the shootout lately. Finally, just silky move, man. Completely undresses Wedgwood and beautiful tuck. He actually on the shootout, I find he beats the goalie most of the time, and he just loses the puck. So
Yep.
finally, he didn't. That was really nice. And then yeah, his first goal just being in the right spot on the power play, right on the doorstep. Beautiful. That's what you need. It's what you love from your captain in games like this. That's when you need Nick Suzuki, and he was here today.
Yeah. What I really liked about his goal on the power play was how he orchestrated the entry, because Suzuki was not in the middle of the ice, but kind of on the right side with Slavkovsky beside him and ahead of him. And he passes the puck up to Slavkovsky, and he can see that there's an Avalanche player who's tracking in to check him, whether it's with stick or body, whatever. And Suzuki just picks up his speed, matches Slavkovsky's pace, and goes right beside him. So in order to check Slavkovsky at the zone entry, you would have to go through Nick Suzuki's body. So it's not quite a pick play because he has a right to choose that positioning, but it was just really, really smart. And then as he helps Slavkovsky gain the zone, he beelines right for the net. And by the time he gets there, I think it was Demidov had already sent the puck into the middle, like a pass off the goaltender's pads, basically. And no mistake from Nick Suzuki. Like, just clinical. I was really impressed with his play and his attention to detail tonight.
Yeah, I love this guy, man. There's nothing more you can say. They announced him gave him like a Team Canada sending off for the fans, right? It's our last home game before the Olympic break, and you saw that little smirk on him when it zoomed in. I know everyone saw it. He was trying to be stoic, but he looks so happy, and he deserves every second of ice time that he's gonna get at the Olympics. what a player, what a captain, and just huge. And then he picks up an assist as well, just for good measure. Make it 3 points, why not? And he's just on fire. And like one day, maybe this guy can get 100 points.
It might be sooner than we think. I mean, he got close to 90 last year.
Yeah,
Like his skill level is so crazy. Like the crazy thing about Suzuki this year is he's been pretty unlucky at 5-on-5. Like his goal scoring specifically, especially earlier in the year. Remember when he only scored goals that like Demidov set up? It was like his first 5 straight goals were all Demidov. And it was like all on the power play. So if he'd been getting normal Nick Suzuki like return on investment offense at 5-on-5, we might be looking at a 100-point season for him. Like that's how good he's been. And I can't get over how well he improves year over year over year. There's always something new that Nick Suzuki's bringing to the table.
yeah. I think a lot this year. He's like, not that even his defensive game was already really good, but if you look at it, like especially a lot of these models, they have him as like a top 3 Selkie candidate right now, and he's been so good. And I think it's just his puck retrievals, especially. He's just so intelligent on them that he can clear the zone so effectively defensively. You see it on the forecheck as well. And I know you've mentioned it plenty of times on our streams, Andrew, but Nick Suzuki is just so smart when it comes to puck battles.
He is so smart. And I feel like other players on the team have picked up a lot of what he puts down in that. And that a lot of that creativity, like I'm not giving everyone else's credit to Suzuki, but I do firmly believe that the best leaders in team sports, like their skill level, their habits transfer down, right? You see it in Colorado with how they play. They like Nathan McKinnon is the heartbeat of that team, even if Landeskog is the captain. He's the guy who sets the tone, right? And he's a little bit psychotic, but his dedication to getting better is wild. And I don't think Suzuki is as crazy, but he does seem as dedicated.
Yeah, for sure. And Piano Matt with the first ever donation to the Game
No!
Over Montreal stream. Piano Matt, thank you so much. We love you,
Thank
Piano
you,
Matt.
Matt. That
Oh,
was
that's
fantastic.
great.
I really appreciate it. Yeah, and I want to say, by the way, on the note of being monetized, one thing that you will not see, you may see it when you first open the show on lives, because I think it will play an ad before it starts the stream, but you will not see ads cutting in during the show. I don't want them to cut in. Like YouTube has an automatic thing where they'll choose live when it will cut in. I don't want them cutting in while either of us are talking or anybody else in the show. And I don't want them cutting in over the ads that people have paid to place on the show. So you won't see that. You don't have to worry about that. I promise you. If it changes, I will tell you ahead of time. The monetization is not going to be enough to be like a big deal for quite some time, but it's just really fun, happy news. And thank you, Matt, for donating $5 to the Game Over Network. It really is more appreciated than I could possibly say. I can't believe someone donated on the first chance. That's fantastic. But yeah, Nick Suzuki, phenomenal. And I saw there was a question in the chat saying, did you see his comment on heated rivalry? And yes, I did. Saying that an out gay player would be welcome on the Montreal Canadiens. And he's like utterly confident the whole organization and the whole team would be okay with it and like happy. That was really cool.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I like that. That's what you want to see from your captain. If I found out like Nick Suzuki behind closed doors was not a good person, I would be so sad. But just the fact that like they're willing to even say that publicly, like it was a little bit of an awkward interview for sure. But you love to see what Nick Suzuki's saying. I think it was really weird because they Nick Suzuki was ready to answer the question, and then the camera went right onto Texier, and so Nick thought Texier was gonna answer, and it just like made it all awkward. And then also like the fact that the question is like maybe like slightly awkward for some of these guys, but I like how he answered it. And like I'm glad to know that Montreal would be accepting of anyone who's who came out.
Yeah, and I think the awkwardness is like I think hockey players are just not good at talking about this stuff
Yeah.
in general, and they're not expecting to be asked about it, even if it's like a big thing. It's just not part of their daily lives. But the emphaticness, is that even a word? The amount of emphasis that Suzuki put on the fact that they would definitely
Mhm.
be accepting was really nice to hear. I hope that that is 100% true. I don't doubt it for Nick personally, that's for sure. But not all teams could say that in the NHL. And
Yeah.
it's nice to feel like at least that your team is one of the good ones, even if there's going to be blind spots because it's still a corporation at the end of the day. But yeah, really good stuff. I know we kind of already talked about the hit on Gooley, but the response to the hit on Gooley is in a way more important than that actual whole situation. I loved the way that the Canadiens came back out angry, but not out of control.
Yeah.
One guy that stuck out to me right away was Texier. When Texier got in his first shift after that hit, every single Avalanche player that he was around, he was yelling in their ear and he was giving shots. Little cross checks here and there, little subtle slashes. He was giving shots and he was in their face. And I was like, it's dirty and you should probably get called, but I love you right now, Alex Texier. Like that's the kind of shit that I want to see after a dirty hit. I just want to see some level of agitation and like pushing the play. And the Canadiens did that. And then Caden Gooley comes back, absolutely levels Arturi Lehkonen, and then sets up Jake Evans for a goal.
Why not?
Why not? Right?
Yeah, that was awesome. I was seeing blood after Gooley went to the locker room. I'm sure Kay was. Well, I know Kay was too. I was kind of losing my mind, and then I see him back out, and he lays a ferocious hit, best hit of the night. As soon as he comes on, beautiful. Caden Gooley is here to stay. I know you said like they must have just popped his shoulder back in or something. That I don't know. Like
yeah, I don't know how to.
It looked like his shoulder was hanging. I had an injury a couple years ago exactly like that, and my shoulder was hanging exactly like that, and I was out for like 6 months. So maybe yeah, it's good to see that he's okay, and that would have been a disaster. But we're back on the topic of Gooley, him and Matheson today. What did you think about that pair? I thought it was really smart that St. Louis puts them so that they can match up with the McKinnon line. And what did I say on the stream on Saturday is that if you put Matheson out with the McKinnon line, you're fine. And what happened? They were fine.
Yeah. It was funny during the game. At one point, the play-by-play guy on TSN said that McKinnon and Makar had 0 points on the night. And I was like, shutting those two down is a really good game plan against this team. And I was like it's so easy, man. Like, if every other team could be like, yeah, we'll just shut those two guys down. They happen to be like two of the best players in the damn world. And like McKinnon is a machine. So the fact that Matheson and Gooley were able to keep pace with them, and also Hudson on Makar was excellent tonight.
The rush defense.
Yeah.
That.
Oh, I think it froze you there. Or it might be frozen on your end, but I'm going to double check.
It was
just to make sure.
Awesome.
No, it's good. Okay, you're unfrozen now.
Oh, of course. Can't be
the internet this time.
Can't be the stream. But yeah, it's great to see. Like every time Makar made a move on the rush, just Hudson's stick was there. His body was there. Yep. He read it perfectly, and that was really great to see. Like just him like confirming that Hudson, yes, is a good rush defender. Like you just saw it there, and like there's nothing anyone could say now to where that would change my mind unless you showed me like a compilation of Hudson being terrible on the rush, but you won't find one. So
yeah, exactly. He's so smart, and even tonight when he lost an edge and fell over, and that was kind of the reason why I think it was the Ross Colton goal from Colorado went in. You know, Gooley trusted Hudson to be where he's supposed to be, but instead Hudson was on his butt. And that happens sometimes. I know that Hudson himself was pretty mad about it because his next shift, he was like, I'm going to make a difference here. And he did. Like, he was incredible. But I'm not mad about a guy falling once in a while. Like, if it happens a lot and a guy's like bad balance or whatever, or like not paying attention and careless, then you get angry. But Hudson falling on his butt once after being like a king the entire damn season, and also like had 2 points tonight before the 7-minute mark, his 16th game this year with at least 2 points. Kid's nuts.
Yeah. What a pass too, to Dobson. He just completely fooled Wedgwood.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Fooled the whole Avalanche.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
off
everyone.
that face-off, they didn't know what to do. Like, it was weird.
Yeah, and one thing that I've been thinking of lately, and this game I even wrote it down. I was like, Lane Hudson only shoots the puck, like if he has to. He always looks to pass. He always makes the play, and we just got another donation,
We
$20
did.
from GFS. Yeah, Andrew, take it away.
Man, I appreciate you so much. Like, I can't say enough things. Like, thank you. And if we helped you get through the gray days, yeah, I mean, listen, not long ago, this team was difficult to watch. And now they are at least a top 5 most entertaining team in the league, maybe higher.
Top one.
Top one.
I'm just gonna say.
Teaching
don't care
Colorado
anymore.
lessons today.
I don't care.
It's funny because,
yeah,
like, there's lots of goals to talk about, but I did see a couple comments about Dobesh. So maybe we'll take a break at the 4-1 goal. We'll come back to the goals after, and we'll mention our boy Jakub Dobesh, who was amazing tonight, especially in the second period, where the Canadiens, I don't think they came out flat, but it was like Colorado was clearly pushing back. And the Canadiens made some weird decisions with the puck behind their own net tonight. There was a lot of trying to clear the puck like through the crease. Like, I don't know why, but there was like 4 different times where he got intercepted, and then Dobesh just had to be there, stopping point blank chances. Like, he made a lot of massive saves tonight. And weirdly, like, the XG count when I last checked Natural Stat Trick was super low tonight. And I get that sometimes, like, the goals that are scored in a high scoring game, like, it can look like it's going to be a higher scoring game because the goals themselves are like great or whatever. And then in between, you're not getting as many chances because the teams don't have to push. But I just don't think that was the case tonight. I think the counts are wrong. Not that it favors one team or the other. I just think there was a boatload of really great scoring chances tonight, and both goalies are underserved by how dangerous they actually were by like the goal count itself, like the expected goal count. I think that tonight there was a lot of really dangerous chances. It was a tough night for goalies, and Dobesh was phenomenal.
Yeah, in tight, Dobesh has looked really good. I thought he looked good in tight on Tuesday. He looked really good today. Just like him moving laterally, like when it's working, man, it's working. Sometimes it's not sometimes it's slightly out of control, but if this guy reins in his lateral movement, like consistently, he's a starter in the NHL. I really believe so, because his ability to get to these pucks when he's doing it right is just so beautiful. He had like a really nice save on like a partial breakaway where he had to like slide and stick out his pad. On Tuesday, he had like 3 tap-ins that he saved. So it's been really big, him making the stops that he needs to, and that's all this, him having such a good game despite like the first period I thought wasn't the best, but he shut the door. Like when the Habs needed him, he absolutely shut the door.
Yeah, like the first goal that went in, the Brock Nelson goal, like I will say, like, it was a well-placed shot, just a little bit above the pad. It was a hard shot around like 86 miles per hour, I think they said on the broadcast, which is pretty hard for a wrist shot, but it was pretty far out. And Brock Nelson is red hot right now, so you've also got to factor that in. But I saw that goal and I was like, nah, I think Dobesh probably should have stopped that. He was a little bit off of his angle. And I was like, I hope this isn't a game where like the Habs play really well and then Colorado scores a bunch of cheesy goals, But no, he answered the bell in such an excellent way. I thought his pads tonight, like the rebounds were a little crazy, but also the chances that he was stopping were pretty crazy too. So at a certain point, it's hard to expect great rebound control. And where Jakub Dobeš in his career and the kind of goaltender he is, like rebounds are just part of the game for him. And I thought his pads tonight looked like pinball paddles, like they were just kicking everything out. And like the rebounds were nuts, but they were mostly going out to the side, I guess. There's some pretty bad ones in the middle, but overall, what was important was he was stopping everything.
Yeah, I think the rebounds that like were on like low danger shots, they all like mostly went to the corner, but like all the higher danger ones like just popped right out. But at the same time, like, did you see that? What was it? The third goal that is absolutely not on him
No.
whatsoever. And he fought to try. I thought he actually saved it. Like when he dove across and lost, I thought he actually saved it for a second. He didn't quite, but man, the compete in this guy and like with his personality, I love watching me some Jakub Dobeš.
Yeah, he's a wildly entertaining goaltender to watch, and like that shouldn't factor into whether or not you think he's like good or bad, but it does because he's fun. Like I just want to watch him play all the time. I genuinely enjoy watching him, and I saw I think it was who was it there? Somebody said, N. Rabinov says Dobeš does something that Monty doesn't. He comes out of his net to challenge shooters. It's true that Montembeault plays much deeper in his net, and I don't know if that's like part and parcel to Montembeault's game, or if it's more that he's played on a team that has given up a lot of really bad chances in tight for a very long time. So he plays a little bit tighter into the net. But there's advantages and disadvantages of being a more aggressive goaltender or a more conservative goaltender, right? Like Henrik Lundqvist was incredibly conservative. He did not leave the blue paint to challenge shooters. Half the time he didn't go halfway through the crease. He stayed very, very tight. So he would get beat sometimes from far out shots, or he would get beat from like off angle shots. But he was also able to recover on secondary chances and tertiary chances much better than a goaltender who challenges more aggressively, like say a Jonathan Quick, which is probably a better comparison in terms of style for Dobeš than most goaltenders out there. Not that Montembeault is comparable at all to Henrik Lundqvist, but like I'm trying to look for play style, not talent level.
Yeah, uh, for sure. And some people in the chat saying like Keck shows he's a perfect backup, but a bit scared that he's the number one. I think one thing we need to think about is right now it probably looks like he's a backup. But this guy's a rookie, and you can still develop as a goaltender. Like, why are we talking about Zach Bolduc when he has a stretch of rough games, and we're talking about, oh, well, long term, Zach Bolduc's going to be okay. He's going to be an impact player long term when he's struggling. But then when it's with Jakub Dobeš, who's a rookie, by the way, and I think the same age as Bolduc, or maybe 1 year older, is, he's a backup, right? So I think there's like right now, yeah, you probably think he is a backup, but you give this guy the floor, let him develop as a goaltender, and there's a chance that he can be better than maybe we think.
There's definitely a chance, and I think Dobeš's like career arc is quite strong. Like he's come up significantly in a pretty short amount of time. So I understand that folks really believe in his potential, and not everyone does, but a lot of folks do. I don't think he's a potential starting goaltender. I think he like his peak would be like a 1A, just because his fundamentals are a little bit chaotic per se, but he is capable of great games. He's capable of great stretches as well. And right now he is currently the goaltender playing much, much better. So he's going to get some more starts as he deserves. But more than anything tonight, I think just him holding down the fort was really important. Stringing together a couple good games in a row doesn't mean he's going to be amazing the rest of the year, but I think the Canadiens needed a couple of like solid goaltending performances, and I hope they continue to get them until the Olympic break.
Yeah, with how hot the Atlantic Division has been
Yeah.
after that little skid the Habs had like 2 weeks ago, or like I had a bit of last week, they've really needed just some stability in net, and it's been good to see for 2 games. And like you said, if we can keep that into the break, that would be huge. Just get a couple more wins. What do we have? 3 games left. If we can win 2 of them, I think that would be nice, and that would set us up nicely for the post break burst where we get Hudson and Caulfield fully rested, and Suzuki coming off of Olympics, where hopefully he's learned a lot, and just securing the playoff spot after that. But right now, you're kind of just trying to keep pace with the rest of the Atlantic, which is not easy to do right now.
No, no, it's not. It's not the best situation, but I'm pretty confident the Canadians can pull this off. All right, let's shift back to the goals quickly because there were more, still more that we haven't even talked about. Kirby Dach sneaks in and just like pulls a sneaky on the goaltender and puts a wraparound in that really looked like a nothing play, but again, a really strong play from Kirby Dach. I liked everything that led up to that play as well, because it was another dominant physical shift where the Canadians were playing with an energy. I said it on socials. I said they were playing with a "you shouldn't have fucked with us" energy, because it was shortly after the hit on Gooley, and they were playing angry but contained, and I enjoyed that. And how did you feel about Kirby Dach tonight? Because he finished with 2 points, obviously not the most important points in the game, but I thought him and his line looked really damn good.
Yeah, the fourth line was nice. Once again, I think that's 3 games in a row where I've really liked the fourth line. Just Doc's playing well. I think he's starting to get his legs under him, starting to get used to playing again as he continues on this stretch, and it's good to see that. And like the last few games have led me to think like maybe long term, if he keeps playing like this, he can build on it and be like even more of a contributor. But just he's got really nice hands. He moves so well. Was it today that he had the double spin move in the close to the corner?
Yeah.
Like that was filthy. I mean, this guy's got silky hands. He had a between the legs on a 2-on-1 last game where he almost got it over to Evans. Just I mean, it's been great to get him back. Like the difference between him and Joe Veleno offensively, that's who he's replacing, right? Is astronomical.
Yeah, it's pretty damn significant. And not to like dog on Veleno, but yeah, Dach is much better than Joe Veleno. And so is Jake Evans. And that's why the team is going to be better long term for them being healthy. And we didn't mention the look at his big ass go moment of the game.
We did not.
We did not, but we've already talked about what I would say it was for me. And that's Caden Gooley
Yeah.
laying the boom and then immediately setting up a goal.
Yeah, that has to be it, right? Right after
Although we got to give Evans was also looking at his big ass go on that play too, right? Because he just rudely barreled through 2 guys, including the goaltender behind the net, and just stole the puck and was like, empty net, mine now.
I don't know if that one is quite Evans. I think that's more Wedgwood definitely making a mistake. But yeah, that has to be Gooley. He deserves to look at his big ass go today because you thought he was out. He looked frustrated going to the tunnel. He's back out. Bang! Massive hit. You love to see it. And then you go to the next goal, which was first
Carrier.
Colorado answered back, right? They got it was 5-3. And they looked like they were putting on the pressure. It was not a great start to the third for Montreal. And then on that third goal, the puck's in the corner. Arbor Jackey's clearly the first one to the puck, and Jack Drury comes in behind him and just I muscles him off the puck like he's a toddler. I don't know what that was. That was the oddest play I've ever seen. And then just it seemed like no one in the zone was ready. And then it was like a couple nice passes. It was in our net. But that was such an odd play from Jack. I have no idea what happened there.
Yeah, he's been struggling lately. The one thing that I liked about Jack Eye tonight, I actually liked the hit late in the game. I didn't think it was dirty at all. It was maybe like a half millisecond late. Like it was very, very close, but it was a good, strong hit, clean hit. I liked that he didn't go crazy after the goalie hit and get himself ejected, because Jack Eye in other seasons would have done that. And I expected it tonight. especially after they called no penalty on it. I thought that he was going to go out and just lose it. So I'm glad that he stayed composed, but he does need to pick it up a little bit. But I think this is like the worst possible kind of game for him, where it's like really fast, really back and forth, a lot of broken plays, intercepted passes. His agility back and forth is just not a strength. He's a big dude. He kind of turns like a boat, right? Not like a really bad boat like Douglas Murray, but he can't keep up when the Habs and Avalanche are going all out back and forth. That was pretty apparent.
Wow, shout out to Douglas Murray. Haven't heard that name in a while. But yeah, it was okay though, because after that, Alex Carrier decided to remind us that he's a really good hockey player. There's no other word to say. Diving play on the 2-on-1, which lately Montreal has been letting on a lot of 2-on-1s, and like half of them were diving and saving it perfectly. Like Matheson had one the other day, Hudson had one last game, and now Carrier. And then why not join the rush and get a slick pass from Nick Suzuki, who is hounded by Makar, and the lane isn't really there. The only way that's getting through is a perfectly placed saucer. And guess what? It's a perfectly placed saucer. Carrier makes no mistake. And I love me some Alex Carrier. He's such a good player. I'm going to say it again. I say it every time. What a trade.
Yeah, huge trade. A massive trade. Hughes has made some banger trades. What I loved most, like going through all the goals tonight, there were some great goals. But that Carrier goal might actually be my favorite one, because they're in a position where Colorado's pressing. They've lost a lot of leads lately. Even games where they've ended up winning in overtime or whatever, they've blown leads late. You don't want to do that tonight. Carrier makes a massive defensive play. And then I think it was Kirby Doc, huge shot block on that play. And then it goes out to Suzuki. And you just know from the way, like Suzuki's posture as he took that puck in the neutral zone, and you saw Carrier recognize and start going, I was like, this is it. They're going to bury it. There was something about that play. I find you can kind of feel the energy when a team has it, and that one, it was fantastic. That might be my favorite goal tonight.
Yeah, I think so too. It killed Colorado. They were in shambles after that goal.
Yeah, they were.
It was game over. They're on a back-to-back. You just started pressing early in the third, you get a goal, and then you give one up right back after you had a grade A chance. Nah, it's over. It's over. And then why not add a couple more? Why not add a couple more for good measure? Just why not, right? So Montreal, Slav gets one, and then Alex. Oh
That
yeah,
was the
no,
last
Slav
one,
gets
wasn't it?
one. Never mind. Yeah. That was 7. I got
We're
so
just
hyped
adding
up.
more.
Too many
Too
goals.
excited.
Yeah, and that Slav one, luckiest bounce I've ever seen. But why not let him get the goal? Uh, it's it's deserved, because the second line has struggled a bit lately. I thought they were better today than they have been recently. I think they were like a little above average in terms of what you want from your second line, and that's was more than good enough today. Uh, and Slav gets the goal, and he's up to 20 goals on the year. I think that passes his career high of 19, if I'm not mistaken, and he's up to 41 points, which is a 63-point pace, which would also smash his career high of 51. So Uri Slavkovsky is having a great season, matches his career high. Thank you, Kay. Just amazing. We love you, Slav, and he got a good ovation as well for the Slovakia send-off.
Yeah, he did. A game after Caulfield scores his 30th, Slavkovsky scores his 20th. It's a game, like, there's a lot of little moments as this team builds towards the playoffs, and you can kind of feel it building, right? And a couple years ago, I think I was talking about Slavkovsky on this show, and I said that, like, at his peak, I expected him to be like, if everything works out nicely, like a 25 goal, maybe 70-point guy on like your top line who can do it both ways. I think I need to amend it. I think 25 is a little bit light for him, because his shooting has gone like way, way beyond what we saw the first 3 years of his career. The way that he scores on the power play now also, it elevates his potential for goal scoring to a much higher level. So I don't know. We might be seeing 30 goals Slavkovsky this year. You think he can get it? 10 more?
It's doable. The kid line's gonna have to have another heater after the Olympics. But definitely doable. I'll give it a 35, 33, 1-3 chance that he gets there. But he'll probably get close. Like if I'm really guessing, like 27, 28 is what I'd expect.
Yeah. So that was tonight's game. A lot of fun stuff. If you have any questions, shoot them in the chat because we're going to go to our overtime segment now. Maybe I'll ask a question right off the bat. Is Dobesh obviously the player of the week already? What does he have to do to secure it on Saturday for y'all? I feel like he's got a pretty damn strong case, but man, Suzuki's pushing it too. There's a lot of good things happening. And I feel like closing out the last two Bell Center games of before the Olympic break, beating Vegas and Colorado, it's good vibes. That's real good vibes. So let's hear from Saint Motel, and then we'll be back for the overtime segment. While you're browsing into Bijou's goth shop, head next door and discover Montreal's most unique selfie studio. Whether you're looking to take some banger pics of your Halloween costume or cosplay, or you want to make some memories with friends, the Saint Motel has you covered. Experience their bombastic decors that are always changing, hop in the ball pit, and take advantage of their extensive and flexible on-site lighting. Head to lesaintmotel.com to book your time in the studio, book private time where you and your friends will be the only ones allowed in, or book the space for an event. The dedicated, caring staff will make sure that you have a good time. I do have one warning for you before you book. If you have kids, they won't want to leave. Whether you're at Le Saint Motel or in Bijou, tell them Game Over sent you. Welcome back to Game Over Montreal. I am Andrew Berkshire. If you like the Montreal Canadiens and you like post-game analysis like this stream, subscribe to Game Over Montreal, where you will get top-tier analysis after every single Montreal Canadiens game, and plus some other fun stuff that we do once in a while. All right, I'm Andrew Berkshire. I'm here with Jordan Hachey. We're here to take your questions following this 7-3 victory for the Montreal Canadiens after beating the Colorado Avalanche. I see there's been some tracking of the Atlantic Division opponents. The Capitals blew a 2-goal lead against Detroit to give them a point, but ended up winning in overtime. Still, screw you, Caps. No forgiveness for last year. And I really want the Canadiens to win a damn game against that team. I hate them so much.
Yeah, me too.
They never are full value for their wins. It drives me up the goddamn wall.
I think when you're bad, you like kind of forget that you hate a lot of teams because like the games don't matter.
So true.
Over the last
so
few
true.
years, okay, let me think of the teams that I remember that I hate, or at least I now hate since like last year, basically. Okay, definitely Washington. No. Okay, no, I always hated New York, but we hate New York. How about Tampa? Because like I forgot I hated that. No, even we always hate Tampa. But there's a lot of teams to hate.
I always hated Tampa.
There's a lot of teams to hate. Does anyone remember teams that we hate now? Like Boston, yeah, I guess we can say that. Even Ottawa, like when we sucked, like it was Ottawa is still Ottawa, but like who cares? But now we have to rival against them when they're pretty good. Like definitely Ottawa's a big one. And I say this as an Ottawa native, by the way. I don't like the Sens. Go Habs. But yeah, it's fun. Like you get more emotion when your team is good. You hate all the teams that suck and that deserve to be hated. But it's good. It's good. We're feeling good here tonight.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what's special about sports in general, really, is like, yes, the sport itself is entertaining. I love the game of hockey. I love watching hockey. But it's the collective emotional roller coaster of it all. You know, like whether you're experiencing pain or like the euphoria of winning a Stanley Cup, you're not alone. It's why people will pay hundreds of dollars to go to a game with worse sight lines than you can see on TV at home, because you're experiencing things together. That's kind of what we want to do here with Game Over, right? It's for people who aren't able to be together, or, you know, you can't go out every single time. You will mostly be at home when you're watching hockey with your family or with your friends, doesn't matter. we're your friends too. That's why we're here. Trinka says, I hated Stamkos so long because of Tampa, but also went to my rival high school. Oh, I mean, yeah, that's double down. You got to hate that. There's a lot of questions about trades, potential trades. I'm going to say something controversial because there's a few mentions of like Quentin Byfield, Shane Wright, Nazem Kadri, I guess looking to like bolster the center position. I don't think the Canadiens make a big trade this year during the season.
I think if the opportunity presents itself to get a like first liner, they might bite. But any of these like solid guys, like there's no room in the lineup already. What is Shane Wright's not gonna do anything? Who are we trading for Shane Wright? If we traded for Shane Wright, I I would be mad. Like I'm seeing like I know I saw a rumor that it was like they might like that it would make sense to offer Kapanen or whatever. And I'm like this whoever said that has never watched a Habs game. That would be dumb. Or like something like even Kadri. Is Kadri much better than what we have in Kapanen right now? Not really. And like he just takes another spot out of the lineup. And who would we trade for him? Like I don't want to trade a young player for Kadri. Like it's none of that makes sense to me. So I agree with you there. But if there is like a first liner that might move, or like a like second line center that's like low, like that should be a first line center, then maybe. But otherwise, like yeah, I mean Kent Hughes makes his magic in the off season, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's pulled off some pretty good in-season trades as well, but not a bunch, right? Not since he's been selling. It's usually like one a year, maybe two. And I just don't think that the Canadiens are in a position where they need to add, because this is not a year where they're like, it's a great, exciting, fun year, but it's not a year where they should be going for it. They shouldn't be mortgaging the future to go for it. And I don't think they will. The one thing that I could see happening, as you were mentioning, like a first line player, if they can get a player who is in the same like age range as the players that are like their core players, that I could see happening. There's been a lot of talk about St. Louis and Montreal getting their heads together again. I don't know why St. Louis would even entertain dealing with Kent Hughes again after the Mailloux trade is so bad. But it's exciting to me that they would still be willing to double down with Kent Hughes, because to me that means like the guys that they're looking at from St. Louis would probably be like Robert Thomas, right? So if you're going to make a move that big, then yeah, you might trade some of the younger players, even the ones who have fit in well. But other than that, I don't see them. I don't see them trading for like a Nazem Kadri. Like I like Nazem Kadri. He's a good player. He's on the older side, so it would have to be like a rental. I don't know how many years he has left on his contract, but I don't think it makes practical sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me anymore. With Danault here, if we didn't have Danault, sure. Actually, like probably if like
Yeah.
it makes sense monetarily, but there's just no room. I again, like you said, right? This isn't a year where you are expecting a cup or like expecting even a top four finish. So it's not really necessary to make a move like that. And I think Hughes and Gorton and the front office in general in Montreal, they've proven time and time again that they're smart enough that they know that they can be patient. I mean, watch how they're handling Fowler. Like any like dinosaur organization would have Fowler up and like would be like pressing on Fowler, right? But what are we doing? What has been the whole mantra of this entire rebuild? It's patience, it's process, and it's not rushing things. And that's exactly what Montreal's doing. They're making moves to get forward, but they're smart, they're calculated, and they all fit within a certain timeline that is going to make it so that this team is just so incredible in a few years.
Yeah, and I see a couple of people mentioning like Robert Hage for that's not, or Michael Hage, sorry, not Robert. I was looking at Thomas at the same time. I don't think the Canadiens will trade Hage. I think that, yeah, I agree with King of the North. Like, he's not untouchable. You know, if Connor McDavid was offered for Hage, of course they're going to move Hage. But I kind of agree with King of the North saying trading Mike Hage before he puts a Habs uniform on in the Bell Center would doom us to hell. And like, there are some moves that just the vibes are off and you shouldn't do it. His story is so incredible. And I know you can't win a Stanley Cup with stories, but I love the player as well. He has really high potential. I think he's going to be one of those guys that once he puts on that jersey, it just means everything to him. And in a city like Montreal, with what they're building right now, I don't think you get rid of those guys before you have a chance to see them in that jersey.
Yeah, I think like the only way you trade Hage is like if a surprise, like what's a bad team that might like trade? I don't even know. Like it has to be like a surprise player, like someone better than like Robert Thomas, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like someone like at least close to Caulfield's level. Like that's pretty much what
You see the
like I
comment
would
from
say
Par
for me.
JF?
Ooh,
I think that's the perfect
trading
illustration.
Hage now is as bad as Vegas trading Suzuki. Mm.
I think that's a very apt comparison. Not that they're going to be the same player, but Hage has like that cerebral quality to his game.
Hmm.
And yeah, you don't want to like, it's the same, around the same draft position. I think Suzuki was a few spots higher than Hage, but yeah, I wouldn't do it. I think that you'd have to really, really entice me to even consider doing it. And yeah, part of that is bias. I want to see that kid play for the Canadiens. I want to see him, thinking about his father while he's scoring a goal at the Bell Center and pointing up at the sky. I want to see that because it will be awesome. So I'm not going to trade Michael Hage. And I hope Kent Hughes
Yeah.
doesn't either.
I think they like him. Like I don't know. I feel it in my bones that they don't want to trade him. I Miss Saku says I think the Habs might trade away players without getting anything back. Yeah, like Lide
They
maybe at
might.
this point, or like I don't know. Like would a team take like Sammy Blais at the deadline for like a fifth? I mean,
They might.
if I'm a playoff team in the West that needs a fourth liner, then like I would trade like a fifth for Sammy Blais for sure. Or yeah, like it's with how many forwards Montreal has, they definitely have to move on from very least one of them, but probably even two before the deadline.
Yeah, and it might end up being a waiver situation for
Yeah.
someone, which is always unfortunate. I watched Lexi Lafleur Brown on TikTok recently talk about like what it's like for like the wives and the families when a player's put on waivers, and it sounds horrifying to be honest. Like really upsetting and like wrecking your stability and all that. And there's not as much help as you might think. She was talking about when JT Brown got sent to Anaheim, and they like help you set up with an apartment, and they're like, oh yeah, here's an apartment that we chose for you. It was like, I think she said it was like $8,000 a month, and they were like, no, we're making league minimum here. Like we can't be doing that. I think it actually might have been crazier than $8,000 a month, but like, yeah, it is
Same.
tough. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna move Hage. I think that's the big takeaway from that one.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Is there anything else we wanted to hit on here tonight? Because
There's just one.
I'm good leaving it.
King of the North says wouldn't mind getting Zach Whitecloud from Calgary. Well, the thing is,
Mm.
he's right-handed, and I don't really want him in the top four. So, like,
It would be Jack Eye coming out.
yeah, but what, you're gonna put Carrier or him on the left side on the third line? I
No,
don't
because
know.
you could balance your pairs. Then you'd put Gooley back on his natural side, and then you'd
I'll
just
keep the
have
three, run the three pairs. I
yeah.
guess. I guess you can run the three pairs, and then you actually have like three pairs that you're not scared to play, which would be nice. So if he's not too expensive, but I do think like a contending team would pay more than Montreal would want to pay. So I doubt we're getting him, but yeah, I guess that doesn't seem like a bad move.
Oh, and King of the North asks for everyone's look at his big ass go moment. I don't know if you weren't here for it, King, but we decided it was Caden Gooley absolutely leveling Arturi Lehkonen, who I
Yeah.
also love. He was my favorite player for a while. Now it's Nick Suzuki, unquestionably. But that and then immediately turning it into a goal for Jake Evans was badass.
Yeah. And I mean that's all we have tonight. Thank you guys so much. We're officially monetized. Thank you to anyone who liked the video. Thank you to anyone who subscribed. We love you guys. We're so happy. to be at Game Over Montreal tonight, and we hope that we made your guys' night better, and that you can come here, talk with us, be yourselves, and have fun. So thank you, and have a good night, guys.
Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you for the next one on Saturday night. And I think there was one other thing that I wanted to mention, but I don't remember it now. So have a good one. We love you.